clean water? I certainly do. While it isn't a constitutional right, drinking clean water is something we take for granted in the United States. As Americans, we like to think we are immune from problems around the world. We see problems in Brazil like lack of sanitation, problems in India like dirty water, and problems in China like air pollution. Yet we are now facing our own issues with infrastructure, as highlighted by a recent water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Thanks to the determination of Dr. Monahan Atisha, a pediatrician from Flint, Michigan, the whistle was blown on government indifference to the safety of the population of Flint, Michigan, and the most vulnerable of its population, the children.
Well, it breaks my heart because they already have a struggle. Everything is a struggle for them already. What do we do with this?
Now she watches closely every day for signs of lead poisoning.
I've noticed the speech, the articulation, and I've noticed behaviors of anger.
Right now, Flint is getting a lot of attention. Right now, these kids are getting a lot of attention. But this is the insidious part about lead exposure. The symptoms may not show in the weeks to come or even the months to come. It could take years. And every single one of these children will have to be tracked their entire childhoods.
The trouble began 2 years ago when the state decided to switch Flint from Detroit's drinking water to a new system. But the new system wouldn't be ready for 2 years. In the meantime, to save money, they switched to the Flint River water.
Despite warning signs including discolored water and complaints from General Motors that the water was corrosive to metal, no real investigation was done to determine if the switch would have adverse effects. In addition to other issues, the switch caused a deterioration of water pipes, which caused lead to leach into the water supply. The city failed to add an anti-corrosion solution to the water as required by federal law. This solution would have cost just $100 per day. Lead is toxic to humans, and without the efforts of Dr. Mona, as she is called by her patients, the poisoning of the water may not have been exposed for some time. At one time called an unfortunate researcher, her tenacity helped her persevere and expose the problem. Officials tried to brush the crisis under the carpet, but Dr. Mona took a stand.
In the city of Flint, and in some neighborhoods it actually tripled.
She sounded the alarm to state officials as loudly as she could, but no one listened. Instead,
we were attacked. So I was called an unfortunate researcher, that I was causing near hysteria, and that the state numbers were not consistent with our findings.
A safe and clean water supply is fundamental to a healthy and thriving modern society. Whether it's inhaled, swallowed, or absorbed through the skin, lead can act as a poison. Lead can disrupt the brain's development, it can affect memory, and it has been associated with behavioral disorders and higher crime rates. Children are most vulnerable to lead poisoning, and it can even affect their DNA, which means their own children could suffer from the impacts of lead exposure. Considering there is no safe level of lead, according to the Centers for Disease Control, the levels of lead in the water throughout Flint are staggering.
Waste. This home, 13,000 parts per billion. But of course, it's not just one home. It's an entire community here in Flint. 100,000 people live here. 10%, 10,000 of whom are under the age of 6. And they're the ones who are most at risk.
All of this is what makes Dr. Mona's work so critical. Although officials tried to discredit her work, Dr. Mona would not be silenced. She repeatedly held news conferences and published her extensive findings which showed sharply increased levels of lead in the children of Flint. Dr. Mona openly criticized officials and tried to make the water crisis known.
As they read the figures of people who are contaminated, you were shaking your head no right there in the frame, standing behind the government health officials. You were supposed to be standing with them, and you were shaking your head no.
After pressure from Dr. Mona and other activists, the governor of Michigan, Rick Schneider, finally declared a state of emergency in October 2015. Efforts to replace thousands of underground pipes and galvanized service lines are currently underway, but progress has been slow. As of September 23, 2016, just 177 out of 10,000 water lines have been replaced. Although another round of water quality testing is scheduled for October 2016, at the present time the residents of Flint are still being advised to drink filtered or bottled water. Dr. Mona, who has appeared as number 20 on Times Magazine's list of 100 most influential people in April 2016, is still working hard on the Flint water crisis. She continues to give talks to the residents of Flint to update them on the crisis, and she testified before Congress about the effects of lead in children. Not only has Dr. Mona's work helped the city of Flint, she helped shed light on water quality problems throughout the United States. In fact, recent testing by the Environmental Protection Agency has shown that only 9 U.S. states are meeting water quality standards for lead, and California is not one of those states. If it weren't for Dr. Mona's work, we might still be in the dark.